Hello to my people. Thank you again for another edition, another episode on my channel. You know, again, I'm here to talk about or marinate on a subject that gravitated to me. Of course, I'm your host, Nino, and this is my 2 cents and my little 2 pennies. Now, today, I'm going to talk about loneliness. Is it good to go through a whole lifestyle of being lonely? The greatness of it and the disadvantage of it. While some solitude can be beneficial, generally speaking, the gods of everyday life consider it not good to be lonely. You remember how when your parents, your mom and your dad, they have a successful life, you know, and just say they married. And unfortunately, one of them passed away. Their demise have came. And then the other one lives on. Sometimes they might live within the confines of the household. Sometimes they might be set up in special places for the elderly. Sometimes they might go to homes. But I remember one thing the elderly always would point out and always would throw that pitch at me and the people around me is, I hate to get old because now I'm getting lonely. See, you can have everything. You can be attractive, eye candy. You can have riches up to the ceiling. But if you're lonely, it can be so disappointing because no matter what, and you hear people be saying, oh, I love attention. Yeah, but you don't love too much attention. You love attention. That's right. Let me clear that up. Yes, you're supposed to love attention. Sorry, let me clear that up. Because if you don't get no attention and being lonely, it can take you down. Now, let me point out another thing, people, what I want to stress about being lonely. Lonely is just not an old thing. Lonely doesn't have no age on it. Lonely can be 20 to 30. Lonely can be 60 to 70, all in between. Most people benefit from having a partner to provide companionship and emotional support. There you go. You get a great job. You an athlete. You going to nursing school. Things like that. You want to share that with somebody. You want somebody to be happy with you because through the grind, through the struggle, through the fight, through all that homework, through all that hard studying, you had somebody there that was pushing you when your eyelids was heavy, when you was yawning and you were so tired, when your head wanted to hit a soft bed, when you barely could stand up because your legs are tired. Because remember, through all of this, studying to get to the great position you're trying to get to, say nursing, or say a doctor, or say an athlete, say the training, you still have to go through the pregame things to get to it. And the pregame things are, if you putting yourself through a school or something, you still have to work. What I'm trying to say, you haven't reached or you haven't maximized yet. So through all the hard work through that, you need somebody, a coach or a friend there to push you when you're thinking about giving up. See, you don't need to be lonely with that. You need to have somebody there that steady you when it's hard for you to keep pushing, they give you that little shrug, that little shove that keep you going. However, it is very important to never lose thought that happiness and fulfillment can be achieved with or without a romantic partner. Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. Because all that's saying is you got to get your focus on. You got to buckle down. Right now, we can get to the lovey-dovey and all that. But right now, let me get my mind right. See, I'm trying to strive, or you trying to strive to get to where you get to an age in life where you trying to have yourself already made. The romantic and the loving will come. You ever heard that saying? Oh, it goes from the streets, it goes from working or whatever. M-O-B. And I'm not going to say the real phrase of it, but get to the money. The females will be there. And females, you get to the money because the fellas will be there. So it's not nothing wrong with, singling yourself out for a minute to get to what you're striving for. But that's not nothing but focus right there. Because in the end, once you get to the pinnacle of what you're trying to get to, and once you have, how can I say this? Once you get to completing your journey, now it's time to share the wealth, and it's time to share the gratification of completing your journey with somebody else. You can have all the money in the world, but you don't want to spend that money all by yourself. You want to share it with somebody. What's the greatest thing I think about having money is you able to give and share your money, make other people happy. So that's what I believe goes about on that part. And you can also engage in activities that, if you're somewhat lonely, that will keep you busy. Plenty of things, You can look to delve off in real estate. You can go bowling. You can have nights out with the girls, ladies. Fellas, you can have nights out with the guys, Anything to just beating, sitting around and letting the loneliness consume and build up to a point where it can be very depressing. Because, again, you have to kind of get in your solitude by yourself to focus and get things. But I believe when it's all said and done, and what the man upstairs has written for you, and the fruits of your labor have never came into fruition, you want to share that with somebody else. Now, there's a negative impact of loneliness. Chronic loneliness can negatively affect mental health, leading in depression and increased stress. Increased stress. Of course, you sitting there by yourself. I'm talking about, when we talking about chronic, we talking about consistently. You go home. You make, again, a nice amount of money. But when you walk in that house, and it's just a big, lonely house, you can have a mansion, thousands of rooms, lavish, laid. But you just walking in a big old silent asylum. Nobody there to share that to. You only can think out loud, which I'm finna get where they say you talking to yourself. But, old school people referencing thinking out loud is talking to yourself. Because I do it to myself. But you got to have somebody to, again, come home and see you. When you come home, you can see them. And when we talking about chronic loneliness, we're not talking always about a partner. If you have kids, because even though them kids might be bad as all out, and they might wear you down, but it's better off you dealing with your seeds and your kids than coming home tired or whatever and just there with an abundance of loneliness. Don't know what to do. Remember, it said in the Bible, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. What's an idle mind? Lonely. Nothing to do by yourself. There you go. And it also, negative impact of loneliness, the possibility of physical health issues and elevated blood pressure. Of course. Because if you're by yourself, there's nobody to motivate you to possibly exercise, to possibly get out there and walk. And whether you're old, you might can get away with a little bit while you're young, but your body kind of replicates in the beginning how you're going to be when you get older. Which means if you are real lonely in the early stages of your life, and what I mean the early stages of your life, in your 20s, your 30s, and your 40s, if you're fortunate enough to make it to your 50s and 60s, and you didn't have nobody there to possibly exercise with, you didn't have nobody there to possibly go out, do things with. It's not always about exercising. It might be just going out with a mate or your companion, going out to see a movie, going out, to play bingo or anything. Anything but just coming home, doing the only exercise you really get is your job, because you have to do that. But you're supposed to do things afterward. And that's where you need the support of somebody that is not being lonely. I believe so many people work a crazy amount of hours on their job because they are lonely. They have a void in their life. Their life is stagnant. They have a deletion in their life. A part of their life is deleted because they don't have nobody there constantly to complete it with them. So they work a lot of hours just because I don't have nothing else to go home to. I don't have no girlfriend. I don't have no lady friend that stays with me. I don't have no lady friend to go call and talk to on the phone to maybe go and meet up with her and we go to dinner. I don't have no kids, and vice versa. The lady doesn't have a man friend. She doesn't have a man friend that she can call on the phone. Maybe they go out to dinner. So there you go right there. Again, loneliness. You need somebody there to put their arm around you, to give you a shove, and, just, come on, let's do something. The benefits of a partner, supportive partner, can provide emotional intimacy and companionship. There you go. The benefits of a partner. It's not all about what we doing in the bedroom. It's about, okay, I was at work, I was going through something. I was looking through maybe a couple of ads or something, and I saw something interesting, but I want my partner point of view on this because we're together. I want to come home and chop it up with them and chop it up with her. Or if it's vice versa, you want to come home, ladies, and chop it up with him and see what he thinks. Because it's always two heads are better than one when it comes to thinking. You probably got it in your mind, I've looked through this and I possibly want to purchase this, or I'm possibly interested in reading this, or I'm possibly interested in subscribing this, or I'm possibly interested in, going on vacation. But come home and say, honey, sweetie, babe, boo. Hey, babe, what you think about that? There you go. You can only do so much by yourself, but it's a lot better when you have another person to give their opinion, because it might be something you missing. And there you go again when two heads are better than one. And a sense of security which can positively impact overall happiness in life situation. A sense of security. life situation of happiness. Overall happiness. There you go. You're most secure when you got somebody riding with you. When you're right there with somebody. You can be the strongest, the most tactical, can protect yourself and can protect others around you. A straight Rambo. A Michael Jai White. A guy that's, no martial arts or whatever. But it's always better when you have somebody there, or you always feel probably more fortunate when you have somebody there to watch your back. I don't care how strong and dominant it is. I don't care how great you is with them hands. I don't care how real man you are. Still, anybody can be vulnerable and weak at any time. That's why when the loneliness sets in, that can be pushed away. You have somebody there with you, you can be this big, strong guy that people looking on the outside and say, wow, he can't be faded. He can't be touched. Mentally tough and everything. But your little old lady friend that's maybe 5'2" and 120 pounds, and you 6'3" and 240, she's more of an asset to you than these hands you got or whatever. Because her input on everything and her watching over you, and it's not maybe because she can't physically match what you bringing, but she can mentally match what you bring. There you go again. Loneliness is needed. Hey, loneliness is not needed. My bad. You need to be together with something. Sorry about that. Loneliness is not needed. You can be a great force, a driving force. But if you're a driving force, you still need somebody that's going to navigate that driving force. And that's where not being lonely and have somebody around you comes into play again. The positive aspects of solitude. Sometimes time alone can be therapy and self-reflection, creativity, personal growth, allowing you to focus on your own interests and needs. Okay, that's right. Time alone, again, as we said earlier, is needed. You got to get your focus down, because right now, everybody cannot home in, cannot buckle down with people around. Sometimes they got to be standoffish and get to themselves. And of course, self-reflection, that's the man in the mirror, or that's the woman in the mirror. A lot of times, getting yourself together, all it takes is you looking at the person in the mirror, which is you. You don't need a lot of advice from somebody else when it comes to getting yourself together, because who know you better than yourself? Nobody. You know yourself better than nobody. That's creativity, okay? Now, when I buckled down and got to myself, I was able to create greatness. I was able to come with creativity and come with a solution. Sometimes when you having that partner or that outside interference, it's holding you back, because what they saying and what you're saying may be just slightly off. So you're trying to get to this solution to create what you need. So the creativity can be great too when you done got to your own, to when you got in solitude for yourself. Personal growth. Hey man, that's one of the biggest. I can't get right until I check myself. And so once I check myself, alleviate them things that I was doing that was knocking me down, or that was hindering me, now my personal growth is shining brighter than a light. And now, the time that I have been in solitude to myself and got myself together, not only the personal growth is shown by me, but outsiders looking at me can see the personal growth. And it's just focusing on your interest and need. Because a lot of times you do need to just home in and get it together for one's person, and that's yourself. That's what you need to get it together for. Only you. Because if you cannot get it together for you and you be great, how can you talk to somebody else? Or how can you possibly mentor somebody else? Or how can you, by example, show somebody else how to get it right or get themselves right? Don't rush into or pursue a relationship aggressively just because you're lonely. No, don't run to that because it would fail. And believe me, my peeps, I have been alone and I have sit and thought about that. I have thought about, hey man, I'm just going to go holler at this girl because I need somebody in my life. I'm tired of going home to myself, you know. I need somebody just to talk to. And again, this is not bisexual because a lot of times you just want somebody to share things with. So, no, don't do that because, like I said, you're not coming up on a relationship the right way. See, you want to just get some attention so much and tired of being alone that you're willing to take everything without knowing the value that you're worth as a person. See, you're short-stopping yourself by doing that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because I have tried that. Because you're not trying to get a relationship the right-sided way. You're trying to just hurry up and fix the bleeding because it's hurting. You're trying to bandage that wound that's open, and it's not going to work that way. Only when you're confident, happy, and satisfied with yourself can you emotionally satisfy another person. Right. You got to be the strong rock. You got to be that solid tree. You got to be the one that's got it all together before you go to somebody else and try to be there for them. Because a lot of times, as loneliness, and I'm pitching this loneliness here, people have now went in the state where they're weak, where they're down, where they're second guessing themselves. So you got to be like this when you go to them, or they have to be like this when they come to you. If the roles are reversed, they have to be strong, and you're second guessing yourself. So yes, I believe that. That's true. That is true. Which is, when you satisfy another person, the driving force of any relationship with loneliness consumes with your whole aura. Don't attempt to use rushing into a relationship as a crutch, stability to the loneliness wound. Look, first of all, in a serious relationship, y'all both gonna have to be strong. I would advise y'all do background checks on each other because you need to know who you're dealing with. If you're trying to just holler at this little lady because, again, I'm tired of going home and looking at them four walls, and you know it's red flags everywhere with her. Yeah, she might look a little nice, but, you know, she's rude. She's obnoxious at some time. She can be vulgar. And I'm talking about ladies, this is true with the men too. I'm just not bashing the ladies. This is true with the men too. But I'm just speaking as a man to a woman because I do like women. But ladies, the roles can be reversal, so you can take this as a reverse too. She can be vulgar, she can be manipulating or whatever, but you're gonna take it all in this because, look, I got some company. You know, I'm happy. I'm tired of going home and just watching TV. I'm tired of going home and just turning on and watching Tubi, or going home and watching ESPN, the NBA tonight, or going home and watching college basketball. See, now, my dates are more than just the Tubi TV. My dates are just more than just the cable that I watch when I get home. My dates are actually an individual, a woman, a person that I can throw things at her, and then she can reciprocate and throw things back at me. But again, it has to be the right fit, because there could be so much about her, just like so much about you, that negates really with getting into a relationship, because simply the fact you rushed into it because you lonely, and then making it a complete relationship. So don't do that, because like I say, I have almost been a victim of that. Man, my partner and them, they all have little lady friends and everything, and I'm cool with being by myself, but you know, sometimes you just go home and you just like, man, I like to have a little shouty here to talk to. I just want somebody on the female tip to correct me, because at times, you know, I think I know everything, and you know, my homeboy's gonna tell me only so much. But when they drive off and go to their females and everything, and then I go to the crib by myself, I'm like, man, that's very envious. I wish I can do that. But nah, don't rush and go do the wrong thing. Just try to feel or just try to fix something that you're going through. Always do it genuinely and do it the right way. Because if you just try to go into it and rush, because again, as I'm saying, you tired of that open wound and it won't heal, then after a while, going about it the wrong way, that open wound not only heal, it will become infected, I mean. Not only will the open wound not heal, it will become infected. And we don't want that. This is your man Nino, back here to you again, peeps. You know, I just want to speak on loneliness. Is it a good thing or bad thing to go through a lifetime with loneliness? And again, the percentages say, no, you're going to need a companion. But knowing the good Lord and how things go, everybody's not fortunate to go how the percentages say. Love.